What's going on? Dad fam, it's your man, the dad next door, Jason. You know me. You've seen me a couple times before. And if you haven't, and if this is your first time, well, guess what? You're going to love it, right? But more than me, I will say you'll always love my guests. I get kind of boring. Got baggy eyes, saggy butt. I'm not that impressive. But the guys I bring on here, now those guys are impressive. This next gentleman that's coming up is actually the first guest whose couch I've ever actually slept on. How about that? So we do have a personal connection there, but I'm not going to talk about it too much. I'm going to take you to the good stuff, and we're going to get into it in just a few seconds. So hang tight. Be right back.
Fatherhood. It's how we keep our tribes and families strong. You've landed in the right place if you're ready for dad jokes, tips, and tricks on fun parenting. Also with interviews with some of the coolest dad entrepreneurs we could track down and have them share their strategies to tackling it all in business and life on the Dad Next Door. And now, your host, Mr. Dad Jokes himself, Jason Centeno.
Hi, Nana. They don't show you it in action because things like this.
Oh, fix it.
See, that always brings my energy up. I don't know about you, but like,
Love it.
Yeah. So we're gonna get right into this. I just threw this up on the board real quick. People say I don't talk about like what I do too much. I think I do, but I just want to let you guys know before we get deep into it. And I know I'm catching you up on this whole dadlabs.tech thing, but in case you didn't know it, I am buddied up with another super dad entrepreneur. His name's Jared. He's actually on a webinar now promoting our young entrepreneurs movement, which we're taking young entrepreneurs out there and giving them, if they get certified, because the certification process is a little bit, we take them right into jobs in tech. And I am actually going to be a mentor for one of those or a few of those guys, and they might actually end up working at the company we're building. So I'm all about that. This. That's dad life right now, and I'm blessed to have gotten hooked up with that because that's given me a lot of joy over the past few months. And I'm excited to see what happens with that. But now that's enough about me. Let's get into Dr. Obom, the Marine. Let's go. What's your story? Tell us a little bit about yourself and then how you became an entrepreneur.
Awesome. Well, man, let me see. So what's my story? What's me and how did I become an entrepreneur? I think before I even jump into my story a little bit, you got to know I've been an entrepreneur, I believe, since I was 5 years old. I was that kid that would basically find a penny, shine it up, punch a hole in it, put a string through it, and sell for $5. That was me. But I was born in Guyana in South America, so I'm not an American born. I'm an immigrant to the United States, which means I seek opportunities always. I was born number 13 out of 13 kids, so the 12th son, right? So 12 boy. I know my mom, and I always say this though, Jason, my mom was only looking to make the perfect kid. After 12 attempts, here I am, right? So I grew up in South America. We were pretty much dirt poor, immigrated to the United States, and got in trouble a lot in New York. I moved to Brooklyn with the family and got kicked out of every high school. I got kicked out of all Erasmus Hall, which was like the worst high school back then. I got expelled from Erasmus Hall. And then I went down south, finished school there for a year, joined the military. And long story short, left the military, got tired of working for Uncle Sam, and just wanted complete freedom when I retired after 20 years. And the best thing to do that, I mean, not boring you with my story, I got blown up a few times in Iraq and ended up homeless, bad divorce, this whole stuff, quien sabe qué más, you name it. But I ended up wanting to say, I want my time, I want my freedom. And the only way to do that was to become an entrepreneur, was to work for myself. So I first got into network marketing, building the freedom. First company didn't work as I thought it was going to be. I learned a lot from that, though.
Which one was that one?
That was now Legal Shield, used to be prepaid legal services back then, right? So I learned a lot then. I met a great mentor who's a friend of mine now, literally saved my life because around that time.
Let me guess, Vinny?
Vinny Cochran, the man with the plan. That's it. You know it, bro. So Vinny literally saved my life in a conversation. I mean, I was thinking of committing suicide because, I'd went through a real bad divorce at the time, and my life was just completely going downwards, right? I pretty much lost custody of my 2 adult kids now, but they were kids then. They're 19 and 21 today. But I lost custody, went back to court, was miserable, and for lack of better words, ticked off at the world and blaming everything else until I learned to take responsibility. A couple of years later, got some money back, went back to court, and then got joint custody, right? So since then, though, which is now 17 years, all this craziness, I got remarried, beautiful wife, beautiful daughter, beautiful life. I'm actually heading back to New York here very soon to spend some time with my older girls and have some fun. So it's great now living the life as an entrepreneur and have the freedom to do whatever I want to with my kids. So it's amazing being able to be a dad, however and whenever I choose to, with my kids and enjoy it on a different level now.
So you had some bumps and bruises with some, and we all do with network marketing, but I knew you were successful at one because I knew that one, Miriam, fronting it that did real well. And then you created some other stuff, and I think you're doing, so your journey, you've got a lot of businesses. I mean,
I do, yeah.
Not like just network marketing. I mean, you have, let me see, the one you're doing with IFEA, that's like building funnels and building people's brands up. I know the clothes one you kind of put to the side. You're an author. You wrote a book, an amazing book that's really good. In fact, you did a whole mastermind around it. I was a part of that. So tell me, where are you at now? Like what is, what's the main focus of what you're working on right now? The biggest thing right now for you?
Gotcha. Well, actually, before I tell you about what that is, I'll give you the journey here in like 3 minutes of where I'm at now and why, right? Because the only reason to really understand something is to learn why it even exists. So
agreed.
Going through my up and down roller coaster, bumpy path with network marketing, I loved the industry. I just sucked at it when I got into it, doing the same thing that most people would do. So I got involved with, as you said, Nerium, which is now Neora. I still believe in the industry, and that's where I had my initial success. And my goal has always been, I wanted to be able to do what I want to do, which is what I'm doing now. So I invested 80% of my income that I earned from Neora into investing in my own personal development, investing into masterminds, investing into different things. So when I launched my first coaching and consulting company, and one of the largest clients I landed at the time was Walmart stores. They're still my one of my largest clients. So clients like Walmart stores, Jafra Cosmetics, Knights Media Covia, Chevron, and a whole other bunch of Fortune 50 companies. In that process, I also wrote my first book. That book did very well. It was called The Philosophy of Success. It was all about, in order to have a successful life, you have to start with a successful mindset, because your mind really helps everything you say that interact with what you do and who you become. That did well. Started a coaching company, 7 Consulting around that. Then my wife and I focused a lot on building ourselves and our relationship. So because the first relationship failed, I didn't want to fail in the second one. So we would go to relationship retreats and things like that 4 times a year at a minimum. So we've done that now for over, 15 years. So we attend 4 every year, except for the last year and a half since it's been COVID. But that's been over 40 different retreats. So we launched our own personal relationship retreat business, and that's where I made my first $1 million. We did great there. And then I started really honing in on starting my own businesses and then selling businesses. We launched over 100 different companies, sold over 100 of them. Now I run 8 of them. I was running 8 last year, stopped 1, as you mentioned, which was a clothing line because of COVID. I lost my distributor and my fabric guy due to COVID. So we closed that down. And then recently I launched the Underdog Millionaire Business Accelerator. And here's why. Because of all the businesses that I've done and built, there was an underlining theme that I learned in going to different coaching programs, masterminds, and practices. Putting an entire business together, especially like online now, you need several different things. And you go to different courses, you go to different programs, and you get these pieces. I wanted to create something where an entrepreneur, if they're getting started for the first time, can actually utilize from the beginning to the end and finish and build a 7-figure business. So we created the problem that I had myself to help other entrepreneurs now.
So that's a pretty big endeavor. And when is that? I guess, is it started now? Are you launching it? Like, where are you at in that process?
No, so that was actually launched January 14th. At the end of last year, a lot of my good friends and other mastermind members from another mastermind I was in was asking me, say, hey, Dr. O, what would you do if you had to start all over again? And I kept sharing with them, this is what I would do. I would basically take my knowledge from everything that I have and launch a whole new company. And the question kept coming up again and again and again. And as we got into 2021, the first week, I really thought about it. I said, you know what? I'm the person that likes to show and tell, basically demonstrate. So I said, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to launch a company, and then I'm going to teach people step by step how to build a 7-figure business and show them how to do it along the way. I'm going to go to be the underdog all over again. So I give myself $1,000 and said, I'm not going to reach out to any of my old networks. I'm not going to reach out to anyone I've ever built a business with before. Use none of my lists, literally starting off as the underdog. The only difference that I have is the knowledge and know-it-all of building hundreds of companies and businesses to get started. So I know the exact process, and now we built that whole process step by step by step. We did that January 14th. We had basically almost a 6-figure launch in the first month, and now we've mastered the process. We're going to be running ads with this business starting in about a week and a half. So within the next 90 days, it's going to scale to about $12 million because we have the plan. And the entire time we've been demonstrating and sharing this in a free group with folks who are interested in learning, and then the paid group that are teaching them how to do it. But all of that was to launch the television show, the Underdog Millionaire Business Accelerator show, next year. So this year, it's all the proof and the elements of that happen that they're going to record next year to help people in the near future. It's going to be 20 episodes that's going to be aired on television. We're looking at probably getting that stuff on Amazon and so on. So a good friend of mine who owns a television cast and show company is going to do everything with that. We've already invested to make that happen. So that's the whole process of the Underdog Millionaire, to document the whole journey, share it, and then that's going to be part of my new life focus of building that, and then do the same thing for women the following year.
Good stuff. So let's get into the family part, because this show is about the balance, right? So right. First I want to find out though, real quick, does entrepreneurship run in your family, or were you the only one out of all these many children?
I would say entrepreneurship run in the family, meaning because we're from the islands, most folks from the West Indies, they're hustlers. So and here's the thing, my family's so large, we have a few, but I would say I'm probably one of the most successful ones in my family that stuck to it the longest to really make it my true profession. We have a few of my family members who have the side gig or a hustle or something else, but no one is really full bore 100% into being an entrepreneur. Several members of my immediate family, brothers and sisters, still have like a job or something and something else they're doing. But for me, I haven't had a job since I left the military, which I've never really had a job. The military was just an occupation, right? But I've never had a job in my life other than, being a pizza delivery guy here and there, hustling on the side. That's it.
That's a good hustle, man. I did that for
that's a great hustle.
A lot of delivering pizzas, a whole lot of things. Definitely customer service and upselling and all kinds of fun stuff. How about your other children before we go too far off? The ones you mentioned, the older ones, any of them following in your footsteps in any way? Or are they kind of, I know you got Miracle, but she's still too young, although she's bossy. She's already boss material. I got that. But like, what about these other older ones?
So our oldest, which is our son, my wife and I adopted, we built our Nerium business. He was part of Nerium, so he had his own Nerium business there, learned entrepreneurship early on. Then we basically got him, connected him with a company where he became the CEO of and working and building. So he's running that business. He always does his own things on the side. We had him initially when, Lyft. When Lyft came out, he started working with Lyft back in the day. Then he became a trainer for Lyft. Then he started doing some other health things on the side. He's always had a side hustle, but now he runs a company as a CEO. And now him and his wife, he just got married 3 years ago. He and his wife, they got into investing for themselves by getting their credit together to buy their first home. And they found a knack. So they started their own little investment business on the side that he's still doing, right? So they're doing that. My oldest daughter, she became a sales professional while she was in college. She's a senior this year, so she graduates next year. And she studies psychology like myself. So she's still trying to discover a little bit more of her hustle. She's 21, right? What she's going to do. My middle daughter, she just actually about a month ago started working with a bank. So this chick always loves being around money. So she's in a bank doing that. Both of them, though, the girls always had an idea for a signature sandwich shop, which they're still putting that together, and they're going to use Guess Who as an investor. So I'm looking to see when that happens. But on the back end, I'm still working on getting them to work with us indirectly. So I wouldn't tell you fully the plan because there's some way they could find out what I'm saying, but I do have a plan for them that starts in the next 2 weeks. And I'm going to seduce them with a sales position that pays very high so that they can get to learn what we're doing and eventually maybe succumb to working on the side of UMBA with us.
So check this out, though. Before you sidetrack them with your big idea, you need to like suggest me as a sandwich taste tester because I'm really good at that. So kill the dream immediately. Like get them to make some signature sandwiches. Make me the daddy sub, something like that. I'll take it. I can be a test subject for it. We could party out in Orlando with a couple sample things. We can review it, and then we could tell them, between ourselves, these sandwiches suck. You should get into this other business, and that's the way we graduate. But we get some free sandwiches out of it, right? Yeah, buddy. How about that?
That's how you do it. Oh, I love it. I love it.
So I'm gonna break it up with a little weirdness. I like to ask some kind of crazy questions to everybody. Kind of like off topic, but just to break up the monotony a little bit, because I don't have sponsors yet or commercials. So this is the next best thing. So bear with me. So gotcha. First rapid fire question. What new technology will transform the future?
Oh man, there's so much, but right now, anything with automated sales and artificial intelligence included with it. Sales is the number one thing that the skill that entrepreneurs need to have. I'm working with a company right now that has the technology to predict buying behaviors, right? So anything that can predict how your customer will react to whatever it is you're selling, awesome. Facebook does it pretty well with their algorithm. So it's very similar, but this company is specific in their technology. The other obviously is in BTC, in crypto using, let me slow down, using the blockchain technology. So anything that deals in blockchain for cryptocurrency, there's so much. I just was on a training on a presentation with a good friend today, talking about pancake swaps and some of the other stuff that those technologies are working with. So anything within the blockchain, Bitcoin, crypto, or sales is what's going to transform what's happening with the future.
Yeah, NFTs, all that good stuff. Buy those dot cryptos, and I mean, I got a little bit of all that, so we could definitely build off of that.
Absolutely.
What supply is running low in your house right now?
Oh, dang.
And I know it's probably because you guys are snackaholics like a mom, so it's got to be some kind of chips or cake or something, right? Like,
here's this one. Here's how I answer that. I don't know nothing. My wife supplied. Hey, babe, what are we running low on in the house, snack wise?
Right now?
Yeah, right now. I'll tell you what. For her, it's drinks. For her, it's Rita's. Everybody else is just snacks. Don't matter. But so we've all been on this healthier kick. So it's healthier snacks. We've been focusing on eating healthier. And obviously, you're familiar with our dear sister in common, Afia. Afia has been kind of like our health snack guru, helping us get some stuff together. But with my wife, definitely the Ritas.
Oh yeah, my Rita.
Well, I'm glad you guys haven't been around me lately because I started just I buy the Sam's pack and Nutella, and
no way.
Yeah, man, that's my new thing. A spoon of that.
Nice.
Hours to keep a diabetic straight. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, and I got the Nutella fiend.
Oh man.
All right, so what if you could be any? This is a weird one. If you could be any nationality, what would you be?
Shit, I don't want to experience any other one. I got it good. Let me tell you.
I think you got it good. I think you're good.
I think I got it good being a black dude. Here's why. I spent a lot of my professional life while I was in the Marine Corps in Asia, and they love black guys. They might not love them here in the United States, but they love them in Asia. I will stay being this because I've experienced this one. I can only pontificate on being some other nationality.
You better get ready to duck the chancla because she's close by.
She's right there, dog. She knows it, but here, you know what? Hey, look, she's gonna peek in. The biggest piece of my wife. Look,
I didn't approve this cameo.
You said watch out for the chancla.
Right? Estás hablando mucho.
Oh no.
Right.
So, the biggest thing is though, Jason, my wife. That's why I love her so much. She's a smart one. She says, "Hey, no matter what you did in the past, I got your ass." So she's good. She's good.
All right, you're gonna like this one. So, what is the most delightful word you can think of?
Love and sex. And if I put it together, I love sex. So it's all good.
Yeah, I don't know how that works together. I mean, I know how that works together, but like trying to combine them. I was trying to think of some kind of I'm gonna let it go. All right, this is the last one. What's your least favorite beverage? I know it's not alcohol. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
What's
root
the
beer?
Alcohol? I don't know, but it's probably
root beer.
Root beer?
Yeah.
No, you're right. I'm not a fan of that either.
Yeah, not my thing, bro.
My son loves it, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah, my wife loves it though, so I'll buy her it all day long. And the next one, coffee. Ugh, not me.
We got to fight on that though. Well, you know what? Coffee doesn't taste good, but the powers it gives you is really what I'm in it for.
Yeah, I love the smell though. I can smell it all day, just drinking it, not the taste.
Yeah. Well, I think my daughters would agree because they don't like daddy's coffee breath. So I'll give you that one. You get so you win this round of rapid fire questions.
Boom.
You got a 99 out of 100.
I love it.
Never rated it before, but because you're my man, you get that.
I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate the extra points.
So what does your daily routine look like?
Instead of just a routine, I'll tell you what, I'll give you how my day is scheduled so that could kind of fall into it. So my day is broken down into 4 quadrants, right? So the first and the most important quadrant is what I call sleep. Sleep is from midnight to 8 in the morning. And then 8 to 12 is morning routine. Morning routine is when I pretty much get up, I work out, I spend time with the wife a little bit, we talk, we chit chat. I do my morning devotion, I read, I get into the word, make sure that I'm good to go. And then from noon to 7 p.m. is called work. Work is when I get everything that I need to get done in between that time. And then from 7 to midnight is family time. So since this is the dad show, it's on family time, but my wife has given me the opportunity to do some of this show here because it's family and business related while her and my daughter finish up some other things. And then once this is done, I'm back to family time. But that's how my days normally run. Within that time, though, unless it's something like this that's scheduled, because I know you and we love, you know how much my wife and I love you, we would cut this into the time. Anything, I don't just like pick up my phone. If it's an unscheduled call, not going to happen. So I don't do anything out of order of those time frames because it's only a distraction to that. That's how kind of my daily routine or modus operandi actually happens.
Well, and it's a lot. That I wish I had that kind of discipline. Mine kind of. Well, no, I try, and so you said yours is in 4 quadrants,
right?
I guess I have 4 quadrants: sleep, try to work, try to eat, try to spend some time with the kids. Like that's, but they don't. The order that they come in are like every day is a surprise. Like,
right.
Hey, today I guess I'm doing this now first, and I guess just got to flex around it and adapt to it, but. Like today, I did a crazy day. I did a lot of interviews, but tomorrow's not going to be like that, right? So that's the days I'll kind of go heavy on dad stuff. But you know, today I was not super dad. I was more like semi dad. I don't know, but you know,
dadish. You were dadish.
I was dadish. Like you know, some people are blackish. I was dadish.
Very dadish.
What's your best dad life look like then?
My best dad life, pretty much I take that every weekend. So I don't work on the weekends. The weekends just family time off. And then what the best dad weekends look like is turns into like dad weeks or dad months. We spend one of those together when we were in Orlando. We just take off. We'll do some work maybe, but it's just more so hanging out, chilling out, spending time with my daughter and my wife, going on the water slides with her, chilling at a park or somewhere. I love to travel. So whenever we have the chance to travel and just have fun and shoot the crap, that's what my best dad life day / months would look like.
And I can attest to that because I think in the day and a half or two, what did I spend there? We moved, we swam,
We did.
we did some work. We did like an afternoon, like a deep dive. You helped me get some chapters of my book life sort of sorted out. And inside of all that, we had fun. That was the thing. One thing I say, in your life, like I'm always looking for, trying to these. I guess these would be my 5 quadrants. It's fun, flow, family, faith, and finance. Right. So flow is really important, people. That's the invisible kind of waves of around you of how you're
put it all together.
How if you're in a zone or not. And as chaotic as sometimes my flow is, that it works for me, and I did feel that when you guys are working, really because you're very in sync with everybody around you, whether it's Afia or your wife or your daughter or whatever. Everybody's kind of like they get it, and nobody's like doing too much or catching attitudes about it. It's like, oh, we're rolling with this right now, and everybody's having fun. Yeah, so you are a master flow. You're kind of a DJ of that. I'm gonna have to start call you Dr. DJ Obom.
Dr. D. I like that.
Change it, DJ Obom Bowen. Like that could be your alter ego. You could wear a Kango. You know how
DJ, here we go. Squeaky, wiki, wiki, wiki.
Exactly. So I what would you say your dad's superpower is, as a father, like you got this, nobody can beat you at that. Like that's really what your groove. Like I said, nobody could take that from you. What would you say that is?
Mine is it's called being in the zone with my kids. When I'm like in the zone with them, nothing else matters. Nobody else matters. You've probably seen a little bit of it when we're hanging out. It was me and Miracle at the pool, which it's just I'm just in the zone. I don't really care what anybody else thinks or how I'm mad. She wants me to be a clown. I don't care who's looking around, whatever. I have that ability to just connect and communicate effectively with my kids. And we're one with each other for that time. And those moments, because you really only have 18 summers with your kids. So you got to really be able to try to get as much time as you can. Once it's funny because at the age my oldest are at now, we still have that a bit. But it's still like I was just with them and I'm messaging them because before when we go to stay anywhere, it's always we would stay with them. I'm still just reserved this suite in New York where we're staying at, but I'm reaching out now asking them, hey, do you guys want to stay with us? And my younger daughter's like, I don't know if I'm going to stay because, I'm going to go to work and come back. And I was like, well, even if I, pick you up and drop you off. And she's like, you don't have to be my cab, Dad. I'm good. In other words, she was basically saying, hey, Dad, I get it, but I want to still do me a little bit. And I get it. But in that zone, we're still communicating instead of her just trying to make an excuse for something else. So I'm like, all right, just so you know, we got a suite. There's breakfast going to be there every day. And she's like, breakfast? You should have said that first, right? So, all right, so it's just being in that zone of communicating effectively that no one can compete with me at. Like I have that succinctly with my kids. I had that with them since they were basically in the womb. I've been doing that with Miracle since she was, conceived. Every day at 7 to basically midnight, I would play with the stomach, play her music. And the same thing at the moment she was born. The day she was in the hospital and my wife was actually about to give birth, she wasn't coming. Like the last 15 minutes, we're like, what's going on? And I remember that's the time she was programmed. And I started every single day with the song Despacito because it was, popular then. We started playing it in the delivery room and all of a sudden, Despacito, she came out to a party, right? So when I'm in the zone communicating with my kids, I'm locked in. I don't care what's going on. Nobody can beat me or take that away from me.
Nice. Now, we've heard all about the good side of kids, and we're going to take a little, not detour, but a little dip in this. And so you know, kids will try the hell out of it. Try you to your last nerve, right? So what do you do when you're angry with the kids? How do you handle that? And I'm talking about if you want to go youngest or oldest. I mean, like we all have our different ways of handling. So how you handle it?
So as a psychologist, I understand human behavior. So I have this method. Most people may not approve of it, and that's their prerogative, but this is mine. I believe in giving my kids 3 butt whippings when they're younger. It pretty much starts around when they're 2. So their brain learned to understand discipline or pain and reward. So they do something wrong, you tell them many, many, many times. So the first time you give them that butt whipping, they understand like, oh my gosh, daddy beat me. Oh, what happened? So they get that first butt whipping, then you talk to them about not doing it and let them know it. If they do something wrong, it's going to happen again. Happens a second time, happens a third time, the brain is trained. After that, all I've ever had to do with my kids was talk to them and ask them, do you need a butt whipping? Nope. I've never had to discipline them past age 3. Miracle's about to be 3 here in a few weeks. She just had her first butt whipping the other day. And it caught her off guard. And she was like, what? It was only 1 smack on the butt. But it caught her off guard. And she was like, what? She got mad. She came back 2 hours later. She's like, Daddy, you pow my butt. And I was like, yes, you weren't supposed to be doing what you did. And she goes, okay, I'm still going to tell mom. It's like, whatever. But that discipline.
His hands too.
So
these hands are rated E for everyone. You tell your
exactly right. So you got to get it. So I believe in that discipline, and I believe in talking to them as an adult younger so that they can learn responsibility. I mean, when my kids got old, like our son, it was like that kid, all we ever had to do was talk to him. That was it. You talk to him, he was completely self-ran. He was the one that was, you tell him something, he had the ability to have discipline and incorporate it. He taught me a lot about discipline when it comes to being fit. Like we learned something together. He was the one that did it more, and I'm watching and learning from him. So he had that down pat. You only have to talk to him once or twice. That's it, and you're good. My oldest daughter, she always had this thing where she played me and her mom off of each other, or try to play me and Anna off each other, my wife. The youngest one, she was more like the one, like she'll tell you if she did wrong, she'll tell on herself, she'll tell on everybody else. She was just tattletale. She'll just tell, right? So it doesn't matter. With this one, we're still discovering she is so adventurous. She is so against the rules. She likes to break them all. As a matter of fact, today, she's jumping off the bed with her iPad. And when she jumps off with it, it kind of hit her stomach and hurt her. And we try to tell her, don't jump off the bed with the iPad. If you want to jump off the bed, no problem. Put the iPad down, jump off, pick up your iPad. Okay, she jumped off the bed. It's great. And I tell her, but don't jump off. Just do a running jump. You might hurt yourself. So she didn't listen. She jumped off, hurt her ankle. And we tell her, no more jumping on the bed. She got up. She starts crying. She's okay. Guess what she did 2 minutes later? Same thing, right? So when it comes to the discipline, I love to explain to them what's going to happen, have them see it. Once they get that third butt whipping, they don't really need any more. Now they've learned the difference between responsibility and not taking responsibility and what's going to happen. That gap is what they're responsible for themselves.
So what's your dad kryptonite? We talked about your superpower or your super focus. Now, what's your kryptonite?
Yo, so I got 3 girls, bro. And
I do too.
Right. So it's that I, and then it's the younger one now does this, Dad, and she blinks her eyes like done. They look at me and then she will do something. She knows she's wrong and say, I'm sorry, Dad, I love you. Or they'll put their head on my shoulder. That's it. The older ones, they still have this thing and they say, but Dad, and it's not what they say, it's how they say it. And it just like literally drops every muscle. Every now and then I have to look at my wife and it's like, I'll still have to like man up, but immediately it's like a punch in the gut because it just goes to that soft spot in me. And I'm just like, oh man, I look away. Since I'm still have to come back mean, but it doesn't always work, bro.
I mean, we all got the button. That's why I asked the question because girls will do it to you because they do. they can be the most well. It's what it is because when they're little, like as much as they annoy you, they still got that unconditional love, and because of that, I think that's why we melt because there's no like yet. I want to say yet. There's no like me against you. It's like a difference of opinion. I'm gonna win, but
right.
You have one that's like I love you. And they get over it. So I don't know. I mean, I'm still on the journey. The oldest one is 7, so I got a lot to learn still on how I'm going to be manipulated, and I'm already doing it a little bit now. So just I'm enjoying it now, but I know what's coming. I've seen the stories. I've seen the movies. I know.
Right. It's crazy because the older girls, they're like, now the life that the younger one is having, they're like, Dad, she doesn't know about the struggle, and we're like, well, she never will. And you guys were around at a different time when I was going through the struggle with stuff. And it's like, she's so spoiled. I'm like, no, she's blessed. She's good. But I'm in a different place and life is different with the youngest one because, when you look at it financially, there's not a problem, which means there's zero stress in the life. When the other ones were younger, obviously there was a financial stress. So we were a little more heightened and easier frustrated with things that the older kids did. Now that frustration is not there, so it's easier really just to be a parent and enjoy the whole process with the last one here.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you work hard for, to enjoy it. And
absolutely,
she got the luck of the draw right now, so
she did.
Can't be a hater. I mean, it happens. I mean, the oldest always gets the not the raw end, but like experimented on, and then it goes.
Yeah.
The youngest always gets the hand-me-downs, but they also get away with way more because nobody got time to pay attention to them sometimes, to their detriment. But also they get away with a lot more. So there's all these pros and cons to wherever you rank on that chain. But
wherever you go.
yeah. So what's one weird thing most people don't know about you?
Oh snap!
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you.
I literally died 4 times and came back, like flatline, pronounced dead, and came back to life. 3 of them was in Iraq due to injuries I suffered. 1 was I literally ran myself to death in Hawaii, and flatlined, temperature 107.6, and came back from that, which is crazy because your brain fries at 102, right? So still to this date, right now, my fingers, my phalanges are freezing and my toes are freezing because I got injured in the heat. I had heat stroke and I got a cold injury when I was in Korea. So frostbitten and heat injury, my extremities are poor. So everything from my neck all the way down to my ankles always warm, but then my feet, my toes and fingers are always cold.
So David Goggins would not like you. No, I'm kidding. You're David Noggins now.
He'll probably say, "Suck that shit up."
You ever meet him by any chance? I mean,
yeah, I ran into him twice. We worked together in a similar unit, like together, but in a similar unit. I didn't even realize who he was until he became popular. It's just like, yeah, I know that dude, but I didn't really like, hey, we're buddies. No.
Nah, but that's just a weird coincidence. I never even thought. I mean, that just came up in conversation, but that's a cool thing to know about you. What's one question that you wish people would ask you, but they never do?
How can I do what you do for me? In other words, how can they get my help to build their business and become the person or the business they want to be? People beat around the bush sometimes.
I was going to say, is it that simple? It's just they're just never directly asking. You said beat around the bush.
Yeah, folks always do, and human beings behave in predictable patterns, and we always, because majority of the time, especially if it has to do with money, they may not know how much it is, or they may not come out directly and ask. So it's always just kind of going around, which is one of the reasons I liked you from the get-go. That there is, whatever you see is what you get, and I don't think you hide anything you ever want to know. You just freaking ask, right? So some people, and it might sound hard for most people, but for you, so you have a question with something. That's what I always liked about you. You'll just ask straight out. It's like, hey, I had a question. I'll just ask. For some people,
I catch a lot of elbows for that, by the way.
Yeah, that's hard to do, right?
My wife's like, yeah, but it's what it is.
Yeah, it is what it, and that's how I am. You want to know something, just ask me. Don't beat around the bush. Don't try to ask me 19 questions just to get to the one. Just ask me the freaking one, and we're good to go.
I'm the same. All right. So what's a question that you're tired of people asking you then?
You know what? I don't even pay attention anymore. Like, I don't even. I drown it out
here. I just
like,
I'm just like, I'm sorry. I can't. I got a war injury. I can't. What? They're calling me. I hear something ringing. My wife. Snacks. My daughter. Miracle call. Just curve them completely. Or throw a baby on them. I do that sometimes. Take this kid. Hold on. I got to do something. Yeah.
But you know, one of the ones I got a lot was, did that really happen? Because about my past or my life or my success, because it's a quandary for most people. With the amount of success that I've achieved or acquired in a very short time, it's preposterous to most. But what they don't see is in that short time, it was the time before that caused the success to happen in that short time. It wasn't just that short time.
And what's crazy is when we first met, you know, I Googled a lot of that stuff. And I was like, oh, was this? And like, you know, I just, because sometimes this sounds kind of fantastic. Yeah. But then I would go back and I would be like, you know, because that's the thing. People will always present things in their communications that, you know, maybe we don't understand the inflections, the words they use, the way they're saying it. We read something into it more than's there. And it's, you know, it's a picture we paint in our minds. So it's like, it's not wrong. It's just, we translated your words to mean this, right? Or this, we get impressed by this word this certain way, right?
Exactly.
And I am no kind of a psychologist, but I know myself. So I was like, you know, oh yeah, like, and I went back and you were like, yeah, that was, and I found pictures and you told me a story about something, and like, you know, you guys you went through some shit. I mean, really, like you guys were like on welfare and you were like doing real bad, and like you got assistance. It was a lot of stuff there, but like people could literally go back and find all this stuff about you on the internet and track that whole thing if they care to, if they read your book or listen to the, you know, look at the details and So that's one of the things I could say about you for sure, that like whatever you're saying it could be backed up, not just by you, but like people just can go find it.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
It's all there.
A lot of people have like that, you know what I mean? So
yeah. One of the things you just mentioned, like, you know, when my wife and I got some assistance, check this out. This story, completely crazy bonkers, right? So as you know, I'm a pretty intellectual dude, pretty smart, right? So I was screwed up in the head. There was this organization they're saying they wanted to help veterans. And they were creating like this apartment complex to help veterans in transitional homes. And at the time I fit right into bill. I was like, this is perfect. What happened was I qualified for this program. They came in. My wife and I, when they spoke to me, they realized that, this guy's pretty smart. They asked if I didn't mind saying some things for them at a press conference to help them raise funds. We raised over like $9 million for them, right? And I'm like, I can give back because they're helping me. Literally. So this is me coming off like being homeless. Literally, their stuff was in the papers. They put us up in the place and something. Literally, after doing the expose, like 3 weeks later, they kicked me out.
So you were like a promo piece for them, a PR piece.
That was it. So it took me from where I was to worse. So then I didn't trust anybody else now for a while. There we are.
I don't know what happened there. Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. They don't want the truth to come out.
This is what I was telling you. I need somebody to sit here and play these buttons.
Right.
Stuff like that happens. My ADD kicks in, and we go into the universe. So so they messed you up.
Right. So they dragged me, like I was they sent me worse off than I went in. So now I'm on this downward spiral, and this is the time I'm like trying to take my own life. Luckily, at that same time, my today's the day information that I teach now, I got connected with a military organization that was teaching transitory information. I got to working with them and was basically making somewhere between $200 to $300 a day, which was enough to get like hotel rooms and stuff now, place to stay. Transition out from that, living in my car, thought things were going to be good, but it wasn't. Then I got back into just basically selling my time for dollars, right? At this same time, I can't even be bothered now. And I'm thinking, if I focus on this, with all the stuff that's going on in my head, all I'm thinking is going up and find somebody and killing them. Like, I'm just being honest. This is what I wanted to do to the people who all did this. And I realized I started directing my energy in the wrong direction. So then right around that time, a student of mine met me because I was like so ticked off. I was trying to go to the general counselman's office to file a complaint. I saw the student of mine where I used to teach at UCSD just before I left the military. And he asked what I was doing. I told him because I had just finished the class teaching that day, sat down with him, and he said, wow, that sounds interesting. I'd like to connect with you to do one of your courses. He brought 5 of his friends. That one gentleman, though, I charged him $500 for that course over the course of the weekend. That one young man worked for Walmart stores, and his dad was the actual regional manager for California. Long story short, that's how I landed my Walmart contract. So with one problem, I really didn't put the energy into that craziness, and to believe what it is, divine power orchestration. God put another door I opened it up. I didn't really go try to kill the person, which is what I wanted to do, to be honest with you. But I said no. Follow that little trickle breadcrumb, and it turned out to be Walmart, which years later paid me millions of dollars to do what I love doing.
Damn. That's all you can say to that.
This I am.
We talked about masterminds real quick. Now you explained your routine, and masterminds do take a chunk of time. So are you in any masterminds right now?
Well, I'm in 4 different ones. One are my own, 3 that I actually paid into, right, to help me. 2 of them mainly for business, the other one for relationship, and then there's the Underdog Millionaire Business Accelerator. We run that as a mastermind business incubator that really helps not only just what we're teaching, but how we're helping them. Think of the mastermind that we were a part of, a slight version of that, but then we're helping them build their business, and we're holding them step by step throughout the process. Everything from sales funnels to script writing to whatever they need to get their business together, and then put it out to where it's predictable, repeatable, so that it can be a profitable business for them and they can leave us, right? We just created their graduation piece, which is called the Key to Success, like the Underdog Millionaire Success Key. Everybody gets one when they graduate. That way they have a turnkey business system. You can't buy it, you have to graduate and earn it, right? So for those who want to purchase it, you can't. And that key is the key to success, but it's RUMBA key. And it's all just to help them a predictable business, but it's in a mastermind forum. Why? Because once they graduate, you know me, I love doing business with people that I know, like, and trust, that I actually can trust.
Yeah, so I hear this a lot. Everybody, I don't think one person has said they haven't been in a mastermind that I asked that question with. There's always at least, I think the least has been like maybe 2. There's always kind of like one you're running and one you're learning from, or 2 or 3 that you're learning from. So I only bring those up to say is, like, most of the people that are doing anything that I've met that are where I want to go, they're all in masterminds, no matter what. whether it's a small one, a medium-sized one. I think, okay, so I'm like 3 right now.
Right.
All of them are the ones I paid for. I was running, no, actually 4, because I run one. I run 2 really, but one is more like just more like a class more than a mastermind. But I guess it is because I'm still dealing. Maybe there's 5. The definition of that can be kind of flexible, but one I would say is more like a class, and the other one is actually straight mastermind, dig in deep, fix a problem. So one's more generic, answer questions for an hour, and then it's over. So yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the best way to grow, because especially in COVID, the networking's hard to do now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to get it in somehow, and this is the way. I mean, that's what the technology's for. You got any? What would you say is like your best piece of life advice to dad entrepreneurs? And I'm pretty sure with your program, you're dealing with some fathers in there, so this could be business, life. I don't know. I mean, you're a wise guy. Like, let's see what you got.
Yeah, so put it to something where you'd understand simpler. Chapter 4 of my book, Beliefs Regulate Performance, right? So whatever it is you're looking to do in your business or your life, make sure you have the right belief for it. And if you don't, then you find the right belief set. You turn that belief into a daily process, and you work towards the time of where you actually embrace that into yourself. Because when you change your belief, you change your entire life, right? But that belief has to be without doubt, because 1% doubt, you're 100% out. You have to work towards that, whatever that thing is. So for me, it's always success. And like my working definition of knowing what it really is knowing what works, abandoning what doesn't, and always knowing the difference. So when you have the right belief, that's the advice I would give you. You got to have the belief towards the goal you're looking to achieve. So
I'm glad you said that, because something came up this week, and it was a simple word change. Because I'm a results oriented person, and I mean, my goal, my why is I will see 100 kids adopted through my influence in my lifetime. Now, the thing that changed was I was saying till last week, and I'm still kind of messing up with it, but I changed one word, and is I want to be instrumental. Now I've changed it to I will be instrumental, because there's something in that wanting that's still not real. But when I changed it to will in my head, it's not negotiable now. So like that alone, and you brought it up. So it's like that belief now, where I was kind of like, how am I going to do this? It's like, I'm going to do it now. It's not how. I'm like, I am. I just haven't figured out the how yet, but it did change something in me. So my speech, my power around that, my energy around that phrase now is a lot stronger now. And for want of a better word, it's helped me communicate better. So yeah, I think that's big.
Yeah, and with the etymology of words, want comes from its antithesis, which is lack. So that means your want means it's coming from lack, means that you don't have enough. When you use if you're open for a quick suggestion, the best word, instead of saying like I will, is just I am. I am is in the now. It's the ownership of it. You do have that, and then the universe responds. That's it.
So when I say it to myself, I will use am.
Yep.
When I explain it to people, I don't know. It's hard. It's harder to I am, because we got the what do they call them, the syntax Nazis, the spelling not like
right.
What do they call that?
So say the same phrase. Say the same phrase. I'll show you how to do it right now. Say the same phrase.
I am instrumental in the adoption of 100 children before I die, or in my lifetime.
That's it. That's it. Ownership right there.
Okay. I gotta start practicing that one. So thank you for that. See, I got something from this.
Absolutely.
And it only cost me, I guess you can bill me later. I'll cash it. It'll be okay.
It cost you the time. Couple of dad jokes.
Well, that's how you're gonna pay for this. But
snap, bring it on.
I got one last question for you. How do you want to leave your mark on the world?
with what I'm doing now. So what I'm doing now with the Underdog Millionaire Business Accelerator is helping entrepreneurs really build predictable, repeatable, profitable businesses, right? So that is to get to the next two phases of everything for me, leaving my legacy. The second is next year, we're launching a company called Queens United. That's the whole thing coming out. The movement, I've always been about women empowerment because I have 3 girls. And then underneath that is my nonprofit, which is The Future is Female. Those 2 companies will be giving into that.
What's that called? Future is Female?
The Future is Female. Yep, because it is. The future is female, right? So the future that's coming, it needs more emotional IQ instead of what we have right now with the IQ, which is all knowledge and intellect. With men, the EQ, we need more emotional intelligence. That's what women bring to the picture. Right. So if you look now, while the world was busy so long trying to, in a sense, hold women back, it doesn't matter. I mean, for crying out loud, finally, the United States now have a woman vice president. But if you go back and check how many women are empowered throughout the world, there are women presidents, there are women prime ministers, there are women all around the world, from in Asia, you name the West Indies, the Caribbean, in Russia, Lithuania, you name it. The women have been empowered. The United States has been a little behind the power curve. So the future is female, and my legacy is going to be that. Do something for women, because God's blessed me with 3 daughters, and I want to leave them with a legacy.
Big idea there. Not something you hear from a lot of men.
No,
but I do agree as far as like emotional EQ is very lacking now, because everybody's just so used to this filter between you and me. Right now we're on a Zoom call, and there's always this distance where you can say the things you want. You can't read the room, right? That's what it is. And that's what emotional EQ is reading the room, reading the situation. And how can you do that from a distance? Not very well. All right, my brother. So you got any last thoughts? I put up this giveaway, this Manifest Wealth Destinies one thing webinar. So is that like, you want to like explain what that is real quick? Or is that just kind of like how they can kind of get into your circle and get to know more about this?
Yeah. So when this year, when I launched, just before we launched the Underdog Millionaire Business Accelerator, I started focusing on just the one thing that can help myself initially, but anyone find their one purpose in life. People are always trying to figure out like how to find your one thing in life and profit from it. So I did a webinar on exactly how to do that, step by step, the process I use. And that webinar is recorded. They can get a copy of that. There's a worksheet and stuff with it, and it gives them a chance to connect with me from there. So I put it, that's a great giveaway. It's about an hour. I think it's about an hour and 20 minutes long, but it goes in depth on how you can find your purpose and actually learn to profit from it, create a business from it, create your legacy, and do that from it. So that's my gift to everyone else, because it's tough for most people. They can't really figure out how to do it. And that's what we did earlier this year. And I wanted to give that to everybody as best as possible.
That's awesome. To tell you the truth, that's something that it's the hardest thing to come up with, because it took me a lot of years to get to that idea, that true North Star, because as you're growing, you kind of like, oh, it could be this, it could be that. I'm headed in that direction.
Right.
But now it's, when you can get clear, and whenever you do, that's going to make things a lot easier, because you're not going to be, even as distractible as I can be, like I still come back to this, like, what am I doing about this one thing right now, today?
Right.
On top of all that, did I push the needle forward any today, and how did I do it? And if you can keep doing that every day until it becomes a habit, then one day you'll pick your head up and you'll be like, damn, I hit my numbers, and you'll be happy.
Exactly.
And then you'll be like, and then what? And then you just go do more. So,
and then another one and another one and another one and another one.
So yeah, that's good. All righty then. So you got that dad joke from your son? You got them.
I know it was coming to you. So I had a few, but I got a good one. Here's the first one. How do trees get into the internet?
I don't know.
They log in.
That is appropriately corny and daddish.
That is a dad joke.
Who gave you that one? Did you find that on your own? Or that's not a miracle joke? Because she's
No, so Afia's daughter, right?
she's got
Imani. Yeah, so we're putting a joke book together for her. This is for one of her jokes. I think it's like joke number 15, right? One of the first one in her jokes, it was joke number 1. No, that's like joke number 15, I think. Joke number 1 was what is it? Let me see. What do you do if your dog eats your homework?
I don't know.
You take the words right out its mouth.
Is she making these up? Because I remember she was crafting some jokes when we were.
So she makes some up. She gets some from I think from Google and other places, but she's putting this whole thing together. And part of her premise is, how can you build just good relationships and stuff like that by jokes? So she's writing her joke book, and obviously being the kid of an entrepreneur family, she's learning how to now put her book together. We're going to start her little coaching program, right? She's doing her bracelets and stuff. Like, the chick has got a whole plan together. So we're just helping her put it together. Afia's just starting to put her funnel together and get her stuff together. So she'll have her little website and stuff up, but she's all business, man.
Yeah, she did some cool stuff with those little video intros and things too. So she's on top of it. Tell her this one, but don't tell her around Afia, right? Say, hey, Imani, why did the mermaid wear seashells?
Why?
Because she outgrew her bee shells. And then run. Because she shouldn't understand that. But her mom might hit you, or your wife might hit you.
That's a good one.
All right, brother. Well, I'm glad you had some fun today. We had some laughs.
I did, man. I did.
Definitely hit me up in a couple of weeks if you're around, and trying to make that run up there. And if you get that Disney that place I showed you, definitely hit me up, because that's a party spot.
Absolutely.
Tell Anna I said hi, kiss Miracle from me, and
I will.
I'm just gonna put you down into the green room for a minute, so don't go anywhere. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. Guys, the book, Today is the Day. I mean, he mentioned another book, but that's the one that really, I read through twice, and I need to go find it again. It's somewhere in my somewhere around here. I still haven't unpacked everything, but yeah, I got to go through it again, because there's some good stuff in there, some good technology for yeah, it's one of the better books I've read on self-improvement. So, and he spit a little bit of that fire while we were talking, so you should be able to just get a feel for it from there. So appreciate you, brother. I'm glad you were on. I'm glad you can make it here, and that you guys made time for me. And yeah, I guess I'll see you in a minute.
Same here, man. I'll see you then, brother. Thanks again for having me on.
Yes, sir. Always. All right. So let's do this. Bang. All right. So, I'm going to have to hire me somebody to keep this flow going, but we're towards the end of the show. And as every week, I like to try to offer my viewers something a little special. This week I have, let me see what I got for you guys. I think we talked about this last week, but do some real estate. I do a class on Fridays with the Alchemist Nation, and one of the guys on my mastermind, Galter, he's got a free book for you guys. And because he's my buddy, I got that for you, to offer it for you. So if you want to go to freerealestatebook.club, you can go download that and get you some real estate knowledge. And maybe you'll see me in a mastermind or in one of the classes, because I like to participate in those things and help people out with those opportunities. That's one way to get into that circle. So that's that mastermind. Now, speaking of that mastermind, my buddy Fred does one, and we're all in it. That's me, Galter, Fred, and a few other really cool folks. So let me see. We can do that. So I believe he will authorize me to give someone a free hot seat at our next mastermind, where you can come in and you can get to see some of the people in it. And if you like that, then you can join us. So you can text mastermind to this number right here, and we'll give away that hot seat so you can join us. And that's going to be, those are on Tuesdays, right? Finally, this show is going to move to another date, but we're going to go from Thursdays to Tuesdays, because it kind of frees up some things in my life. Plus I can get to some networking meetings and some other things going on if I do it on Thursdays. And it has proven to be a little bit hard for people on Thursdays. So I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to move this show on over to Tuesday. So, I'm saying that now, and if you are a dad entrepreneur watching this and we haven't talked yet, then you should text this number and fill out that form, and then I can have you here on a guest, and we can chop it up and have a good time every Tuesday night starting in May, not in April, but in May. So that's what I got for you guys today. I think it's a wrap. So all you dads, you entrepreneurs, and all the other sexy people still out there, still watching this with me. If you like what you heard, then don't forget next week at 9 p.m. Yes, till the end of April, 9 p.m. here, Thursday nights. We got the Dad Next Door. So hopefully you will join me on the next one. Take care, comb your hair, and I will see you on the next one. Dad Next Door Show, Daddy out.